Hey everyone, this is the Movie Maniac. Thank you for watching, and we're gonna have some fun today, diving into one of my favorite slasher series, which is Friday the 13th and those films, by looking at Part 3. Having revived from his wounds, Jason Voorhees takes refuge at a cabin near Crystal Lake. As a group of co-eds arrive for their vacation, Jason continues his killing spree. This used to be my favorite Friday the 13th sequel for the longest time, and to be fair, it still is one of my favorites. This is where Jason really becomes the icon that we all know and love today. Part 3 is where he gets his mask. The characters in this movie. So you have Shelley, who is obsessed with pulling pranks on everyone else with his costumes and his masks, which is where Jason gets his from. And then you have the Cheech and Chong couple. You have the biker punk gang. And I'm not claiming these are some of the greatest characters of all time or anything like that, but I will say that ever since I saw this film in middle school, those characters have stuck with me ever since. The 3D aspect of this movie, it adds a lot of cheese and a lot of fun. There are many shots in this film, completely shameless, playing into what they thought might work well in 3D. So guys, like literally everyone I've ever talked to about this sequel always brings up the barn. If everyone seems to remember that as a location in this film, I think that's a win for this movie. And I love the look of Jason in this installment. Everything from the hockey mask to his outfit and him without the mask on. It's just that classic vintage Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th feel to it. I mean, this is it. This is when he becomes that icon that we all know and love today. I can pretty much pop this movie in once a year and enjoy it for what it is. I mean, yeah, it has been refined, and maybe at this point, if somebody wants to make the argument that, hey, they've done Friday the 13th better in some of the more recent sequels, whether that's the final chapter or whatever your preference might be, I won't argue that. I can totally see where you're coming from on this. Guys, with all that being said, I'm going to give Friday the 13th Part 3 a 6.5 out of 10. If you think that's a little low, you need to understand that I don't mean to give it a low rating. I think slashers can transcend the typical 10 scale that we might use for cinema in general. And while the 10 scale is still an effective tool, I should do a whole video on this, especially with how it applies, and sometimes doesn't even apply, to slashers. So every Wednesday night when I was in middle school, I would spend the night at my grandma's house, and there was a period of time there, I guess a few months or so, where I just went through all the Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Nightmare on Elm Street series. And watching them in order like that and then getting around to Part 3, there's just something really cool about that. And I think this movie just kind of left its impact on me in that way. And I do have memories of the other sequels as well, but this one, it was just so fascinating to me to watch the transition from 1, 2, 3, and bam, now we have what the image in my head and most of yours is for Jason Voorhees. Old school slasher fanfare. By the way, everyone, this is Kona. We adopted her. She's 9 years old. She's a black Halloween kitty. Hello, Kona. You gonna jump on down there? Sometimes she's a lap cat, sometimes she's not. And I just wanted to introduce you all to Kona, so there's that. All right, guys, what do you think of Friday the 13th Part 3? Do you have any stories on how you first saw this movie? I'd be interested to hear. And is it your favorite or, second or third favorite in the series? Leave me a comment below. And for all you out there, you already know the drill, but for those who don't, make sure to smash that notification bell. Like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay inside the mind of a movie maniac.